Hey guys, it's Shiz. We're going to be going over Outlaw Rogue, patch 9.27 for PvP. I'm just going to explain some builds and different talents and different covenants that I play. I play 3 different covenants currently, um, and we're going to kind of discuss like kind of what's the meta, what people are playing, what you can do. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. So this is my rogue, my main rogue. This right now I have myself built as with haste. Haste goes really well with blunderbuss, but you can also do crit. A lot of rogues are going towards like 30% crit, which my other rogues have. We're gonna jump into our talents first off. So first off, in this first tree, we can play all 3 of them, but I want to point out certain things. When playing our concealed blunderbuss talent, we really want to play weapon master. It gives us that extra 10% sinister strike chance. It's pretty good for consistent damage too, but this weapon master synergizes with enduring brawler, which will give you a 15% chance on sinister strike, and that will synergize really well with triple threat. So yeah, make sure you play those all together. Back to the talents. So yeah, if we're playing Concealed Blunderbuss Legendary, we're going to use Weapon Master. Make sure we never really spec out of Enduring Brawler, pretty much ever. That would make that a hard rule if you're playing Blunderbuss. If you're playing the Greenskin Legendary, which I play the Greenskin Legendary most often for RLD, you want to make sure you're Quick Draw. There's a big misconception that if you play Blunderbuss with Quick Draw, that all 4 of your pistol shots will be modified by quick draw. That's not the case. It's only your first pistol shot, so keep that in mind. So to summarize, with concealed blunderbuss, we're going to use weapon master, and with quick draw, we're going to use greenskin always. And you can use ghostly strikes. It's just my least favorite. I barely use it ever. I think these 2 are better depending on the legendary you're using. In the second row, you can, experiment with everything else, but I think this is way too strong. Increase the ranges of all your melee attacks by 3 yards. Can't tell you how much that extra range helps me with getting like kicks, gouges, whatever. Like mages think they're fine if they root me walk 2 feet away, and they're not. So I would never spec out of acrobatic strikes. On this third tree, so we're just gonna start clicking stuff. On this third tree, I always keep it deeper stratagem. You can experiment with vigor. It's probably the worst of the 3 options. But if you're going to go between 2 options, go between deeper strat and mark for death. Mark for death can be really good for Vinthi. It can also be good if you're not playing Kyrian as well. Or you just need like the on-demand stun if you're like playing Thug Cleave and you're like all based on momentum or something. But yeah, either deeper strat or mark for death. For our next tree, we can use all 3 of these, and all 3 of these have different use cases. Elusiveness is going to be the best one. It kind of gives you like a 30% wall on your feints. On top of that, if we verse like something with insane burst, like Frost DK Windwalker, or something we're just like 100-0 and a stun, or versus RMP, sub fire RMP, for example, cheat death can be really good. And if you are versing sub fire RMP, and your ass ain't gonna pre-feint something, or you're always like pre-DB'd or whatever, just pick the cheat death. If you don't think you're gonna pre-feint something versus sub fire RMP, play cheat death. Or against like Frost DK, if it's like blinding sleet into stun, and you have no chance to pre-feint ever, play cheat death. So our rules here will be, elusiveness pretty much all the time. Cheat death versus subfire RMP. Not sure you think you can pre-feint. And there is a build that we are playing against affliction locks. I'm going to show it to you real quick. We'll take like against double caster, not maneuverability. Sorry. We'll take up Drink Up Me Hearties, which is like gives you an extra 5%, and a team becomes a team vial. An Iron Stomach, and it goes through pillars, it goes through walls. If they're within 15 yards, you can give your entire team Vile. So this is like insanely good versus Affliction Locks. If like they get like triple soul rod or something, taking demon soul damage, you're all at 60% health. Pop one of these bad boys, you're good to go. So Affliction Locks, sub fire RMP, and then baseline. Okay, dirty tricks. Don't think that's good. Put it in the garbage. I don't think you should even test that. Should always pretty much be blinding powder. Only time you should play like Prey on the Weak, which it's 5% in arenas, is if you're playing like triple DPS or something. Like you know damn well the game ain't gonna go past 2 minutes. Like the game's gonna be over within less than a minute and a half. But even I don't play triple DPS, so I would just play blinding powder default. Loaded dice is another one of those games you could play against like a team where you get like controlled a lot and you don't see yourself building alacrity stacks. Dreadblades you can play with Venthy, but I just go with alacrity. I really like the haste on it. I wouldn't switch it from alacrity. Yeah, you could like if you're doing like a skirmish or something, like Dreadblades could be nice. You know, like the game's gonna end in 20 seconds or something, or Soul Shuffle, and pair it with Venthy. But nah, just for the most part, if you're doing like 2s or 3s, and you're trying to play serious, play Alacrity. I've tried out Killing Spree. Don't really like it. Damage isn't that impressive. Blade Rush is your default option here. I think it's the best one. Most folks are never going to switch out of this because it just gives you an extra gap closer, right? And also it gives you energy when you press it, so it's pretty nice. You could make a case to make Dancing Steel versus like double melee if you know like you're never going to not stop putting Blade Fury on the DPS. You can try it against them for the extra 5%. I'm going to stick with Blade Rush though because I like to swap healers a lot. And I think this one's the best. If you're just starting out Outlaw, I would highly recommend using Kyrian. Kyrian's good. Kyrian can be really good if you want to get shit going really quickly because you can use your Echoing Reprimand to build combo points to build a kidney super fast. Also, the talent tree is pretty good. The auto vial is pretty good. Love to see that. So like if you're just starting out, you play Kyrian. We love Kyrian. The new build that's come out this patch is the Blunderbuss build with Venthy, and people are playing the first tree in Venthy because of the haste it gives. And if you're playing Blunderbuss, the more haste you have, the more pretty much chances you're gonna get Blunderbuss proc. So Weapon Master with Enduring Brawler. When you're playing Venthy, and then, of course, going back to the conduits, making sure you're playing triple threat. Always triple threat. All right. Bring it back. Night Fae, put that in the garbage. And me and Nesper are really like the only two that I know of that are playing Necro, Greenskin. Greenskin's quick draw. I really like Greenskin with Necro because it's a lot easier to get 2 Greenskin procs sent in a kidney with Serrated Bone Spike. Like sometimes Serrated Bone Spike acts almost like Mark for Death. It's super easy. Only 15 energy to use. You have 5 charges of it with the double legendary. Yeah, and it just makes like building combo points and energy management a lot easier. And like I said, it's a lot easier to get 2 Greenskin procs in 1 kidney, which my Greenskin procs at the most will crit for like 33k. So if you get like 2 crits back to back, like you can solo. I have soloed people with that before. So yeah, right now I'm playing Necro. That's because I'm playing with an Affliction lock. If you're not playing with an Affliction lock or like something that's like triple dotting something, yeah, stick with Kyrian, stick with Venthy. Both of them are great options. Beginners should play Kyrian. It's just faster. All right, going over PvP honor talents. All of these, except for Boarding Party, I've made a use out of. Yeah, we're just gonna go through it. The most often one that I change is dismantle. If I'm versing double caster, you can just lob that in the garbage. Don't underestimate maneuverability. Maneuverability is so insane, and I will play it a lot versus like our shamans, obviously mages, anything that can get you in roots. Hunters and twos, like sometimes I'll even drop disarm versus all three specs, just to make sure I don't get an 8-second root. With this, when I play with a lock, everyone loves to train the affliction lock. They never want to go the outlaw rogue. So a lot of the times I will actually take out float like a butterfly. This is our reduced evasion, reduced feint. And so like sometimes against like hunter jungle, this is what I would play, like dismantle, maneuverability, if I know for a fact they're not going to go me. Of course, if they train me and that really sucks and we end up losing because of that, I can always go back and swap out to like float like a butterfly. Play this is the standard build. Control is king. I have played it before. I kind of like it, but I think the other talents are better. DFA has a use case in like 2s, so like maybe even 3s. If you know you're about to get coiled or you're about to get DB sheeped or whatever, they're trying to pre-sheep you, you can use DFA to outplay. If you're about to get rooted, use DFA because it has that like split second of immunity. The damage aspect of it's not that insane. We only use it to like pre-DFA kidney or a poly or some kind of CC. The potential to outplay is pretty high with this one. This one again, like if you're playing like double outlaw or something, you can play drink up me hearties, or if you play against like an affliction lock or something, you can play these two together. But again, I really like to not play this talent that often, even if like my healer's like struggling to live or something. I think there's a lot of better talents other than that. Enduring Brawler, again, we're not going to want to ever drop that. Pretty much ever. Gives us health, gives us increased Sinister Strike chance, so more damage ultimately. Rarely, very rarely, I'll change out of Enduring Brawler if I really want to play like other talents with it. But as a basic rule, you should not play anything else other than Enduring Brawler. Again, can't float how good maneuverability is. Bomb, you could use bomb versus like maybe RMP, or you could use it versus double caster or something. I don't really like bomb. I don't think it's that crazy. If you're playing like a one-shot comp, like if you're playing with like a Windwalker, if you're playing with a Destro, like playing big bolts or something, yeah, smoke bomb could be good. I just feel like tricks or take your cut would be better, or maneuverability. That's just my personal preference, but not to discourage anyone from playing bomb. Just ranks lower on my talents. I take your cuts really good for playing blunder. It's still okay with greenskin, but it's really good with blunder. Like I said, haste is really nice with blunder. It gives you more chances that you're going to get a proc. So you can play take your cut a lot. And if you know like the team's not going to go you, for example, you can always drop your reduced evasion for it. Or if you're versing double caster, if you're playing with an Ellie or something that really benefits from haste, like all lock specs or any caster, you can definitely use this, and you can use it a lot. I am never really close to my affliction lock too often, so I would play Thick as Thieves. Sorry. This is Tricks of the Trade, like the one that gives 15% more damage. You'll see me a lot, even in my stream. If I verse even double melee, like sometimes I'll say, screw the short evasion. I'll play Tricks. So you can play Tricks for pretty much all comps you play. Tricks can be really good. Extra 15% damage for 6 seconds is crazy. I have mine macroed in with my kidney. You can do the same. I have it macroed with my focus kidney. You can do the same. Doesn't make too much of a difference. This one you can play in 2s versus Rogue Mage. For like any sub-rogue team you could play this against. It's not that crazy. 10% increased damage for 6 seconds. I don't personally like it. I don't think you should use it. If you did use it, maybe experiment with it and play with Ghostly Strikes. So like once you come out of your stuns, pop a Ghostly Strikes on somebody, put it between the eyes on someone. See if you pump with that extra 20%. But again, there's better talents you can pick. So yeah, let's get into it. So there are two legendaries that I've been mentioning. It's Concealed Blunderbuss. This one procs off your Sinister Strike. So normally you won't get a Blunderbuss proc off the start, but there are some modifiers with this. So Sinister Strike already has like a 25 or 35% modifier. Like they'll hit twice already into it. The other conduit that I showed you is affected by like how you build your your stuff. I'm blanking right now. And then Weapon Master affects Blunderbuss, so it gives you more of a chance to strike an additional time. And again, this Enduring Brawl gives you 15 stacks that your Sinister Strike will hit an additional time. So your Enduring Brawler, 15%, Weapon Master, 25%. The baseline from Sinister Strike itself, which is like 25-35%. And then keep in mind your Skull and Bones buff, like the brown buff, that gives you like an extra 30% on top of that too. So don't re-roll a Skull and Bones Bust if you're playing Concealed Blunderbuss, because you're missing out on huge damage. Might be like the best buff you can get with Concealed Blunderbuss, because you'll get so many procs. This was a big legendary we all played last season, last patch. Put this on the shelf. It's not 20 seconds anymore. It's 10 in arena. I don't think it's good. Put it on the shelf. You could use it, but more likely you're going to want like more damage. So most rogues I've seen play Concealed Blunderbuss with Venthi or Kyrian. You can do that too. There's no problem with that. I think overall Concealed Blunderbuss is more consistent damage. Greenskin is just better for my comp, the on-demand damage, because with Affliction Lock, it's a little harder to kill stuff outside your cooldowns. Alright, excuse me. Last thing we're going to go over are the conduits. So if we're playing Blunderbuss, always use Triple Threat. If we're playing Kyrian, you can play Count the Odds and Sleight of Hand. If you're playing Venthi or Necro, I drop Sleight of Hand and play Count the Odds. So if you're playing Necro, you can play the conduit there. Kyrian, do not play this. Venthi, you're going to play the Lashing Scars talent. Going over these other ones real quick. I don't really respec out of Recuperator, although it's not that insane anymore. I really like Nimble Fingers, so playing this when you can is pretty nice, because we only have 100 energy, right? Cloaked in Shadows, if you verse Rogue Mage, or if you're doing a series against Rogue Mage, make sure you have this conduit, because it's pretty insane. It's really insane against Rogue Mage. But everything else other than Rogue Mage, like these two, you can use. I don't use this ever. I always have this prepared for all. Quick decisions can be good. Rush setups, okay. These two are okay. You can put those in. Just make sure this one's like mandatory. It's pretty insane. Someone's like Blade Storming, you pop evasion. It's reducing the cooldown of your evasion. It's not by 2 seconds either. Like the fully upgraded one's pretty insane. And then if you kick someone, it's 7.8 seconds, I think, or 8.8, something like that. And I think that is it. That is your little starter guide for now. So, yep. Have a great day.